Hi, I am Allison Howard. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's yoga sequence is going to be a strengthening sequence for the deltoids of the shoulders. So I haven't mentioned this before on my yoga channel, but I have embarked on a 300-hour yoga teacher training this year, all 2021. And one of our recent assignments was to create an anatomical strengthening sequence for a specific part of the body. So I decided to take that sequence that I created for my training and post it on my YouTube channel. The props that you might need for this practice include just a couple of blocks. Now I will say we're going to use the blocks for support, so I often rely on my trusty cork blocks to be really supportive and sturdy for that. But we're also going to be using the blocks as a little bit of added load. So holding these cork blocks up is a little bit more of a challenge than holding up something like these foam blocks. Foam blocks tend to be a little bit lighter, and they will present a little bit less of a load compared to the cork ones. It's totally up to you, and if you don't have blocks, you can either check the links down in the description of this video, or a simple heavy book will work. But we need two that are approximately equal weight because we're going to be using one in each hand. So I hope you enjoy this anatomical strengthening sequence for your deltoids. As always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me put out new free content every single week on Monday mornings. So let's get started. All right, we will begin in a nice comfortable seat, lifting up through the crown of the head. Spine is long and tall. You might take a cross of the legs or sit back on the heels. And allow yourself to settle in for just a moment, noticing the sensations of the body and the mind as you arrive on your mat this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you are practicing today. Pull your focus inside and notice the rhythm of the breath. Those gentle inhales and exhales. And maybe encourage Ujjayi pranayama, the slight constriction at the back of the throat that creates a hissing sound, a light Darth Vader sound, some people say, like you're fogging up a pane of glass in front of your face, but your lips are closed. Gently blink your eyes open. Bring your hands together at heart center, palms come to touch. Elbows extend away from one another. We'll take a few gentle sun breaths together. And as we do, notice the sensation in the deltoids as your arms abduct away from the body and reach around into extension. Take an inhale, sweep the arms out, around, abducting and up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms out, abduct, inhale up, and exhale down through heart center. Again, inhale out, gather up space around you, and exhale, hands come down to prayer. Again, inhale out, up. Exhale, hands down through center. Slow this movement down like you're moving through honey Noticing all the sensation in the muscles around the shoulders as you bring your shoulders into many of their possible movements. And one last time, taking your arms out on the inhale, up, and then together on the exhale and down through heart center. Release your hands down by your side. We're going to take our left hand across our body and hook it in the elbow of the right hand like we used to do in like middle school PE class. If you used to do that, we did. And you're going to create this sort of stretch across the front of the shoulder, or back of the shoulder, I should say. And as you feel into this stretch and notice the sensation of those muscles growing perhaps a little bit longer, here I'd like you to create pressure from your left arm into your right arm and vice versa. So you're creating this isometric contraction of one arm against the other. The muscle is staying the same length at this point, but it is contracting to do this work. And release that, exhale, shoulders come down. Right arm across the body, hook the other arm across. Middle school PE stretch. So initially just allow this stretch to happen across the deltoid muscle and all the other structures of the shoulder. Breathing into this sensation of stretch. And now create that isometric contraction, pressing your right arm into the left and left back into the right. Noticing the work that's happening all across the top and the back, and even the front of the deltoid muscle. Nice. And exhale, release that. Shake it out. Maybe wiggle out the arms and the wrist. Bring your hands down, around, and come to a tabletop pose. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. You can tuck your toes under for a little bit more stability if you like. Hug the low ribs in, the low belly in. Create stability here. And we're going to take our right foot back toward the back edge of the mat, and then extend our left arm long forward toward the top of our mat. Lift your right heel off of the mat for this balancing table pose. And here from balancing table, I'd like you to turn your palm down toward the ground and then bring your arm out, abducting out to a nice wide T. Exhale, bring your elbow in by your ribs, and inhale, extend the left arm forward. We'll take that a few more times. Palm comes down, arm swings out, elbow into the ribs. One more time, extend out to the side, and then elbow to ribs. Inhale, extend out, and exhale, hand and knee to the mat. Swish out your hips, and find stillness. Lovely. This time we'll extend our left toes back toward the back edge of the mat. Lift up through the back of the head so you're not collapsing forward. Extend your right fingertips forward toward the top of your mat, and then lift your left heel up toward the sky. We're going to take this sort of breaststroke, swimmer's stroke, again on the other side. So if palm flips down toward the mat, extend it over into your right side, making a nice wide T. And then exhale, right elbow to right ribs, hug it in. Extend, inhale, right arm out, palm flips down, Bring your right palm out to a T and exhale, right ribs. Inhale out, exhale T, and hug it in. One last time, inhale, extend, and exhale, hands and knees back to the mat. Swish out your hips. Beautiful. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands about a handprint in front of their current position and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Take a nice long inhale here and a long steady exhale. Beautiful. Lift your hips up toward the rafters. Pressing in to the palms of the hands, you're welcome to take a generous bend into the knees. Take an inhale here and float forward so that your shoulder blades align over your wrists in plank pose. Dome up between the shoulder blades. Lengthen your tailbone down toward your heels. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Lengthen the breath. And hold here, noticing the actions of the shoulders. They're working hard for you. At any point, if you would like, you can bring your knees down to the mat or keep them lifted. Take a long inhale. On your exhale, bring your right forearm down to the mat, left forearm down to the mat. And now here we are in this forearm plank. Pressing in to your elbows, noticing the work in your shoulders. Inhale long and exhale. Bring the knees down to the mat. Palms of the hands come to the mat. Press yourself up. Downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend into your knees. Step one foot and then the other up to the top of your mat. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Shoulder blades come down the back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now look around and grab your blocks, whatever blocks you have. I'm going to choose the cork blocks for now. And we're going to come to stand and notice this action of our deltoids in a little bit of added load. So a little bit of added weight. So from here, holding the blocks securely in each of your hands, you're going to open your arms and abduct them away from the body into this nice wide T. And notice the muscles that come around from your clavicle, from your scapula, all the way around to your humerus that are working to hold the humerus up in this concentric contraction here. Beautiful. And then you can swing them all the way up to the sky. And exhale, bring them down by your sides. We're gonna flex our shoulders here. First, bringing the arms out in front. Extend the arms long toward the top of the mat if you're facing the short edge of your mat. And noticing the action here of our deltoids. In particular, the deltoids toward the front of the shoulders might be working a little bit harder for you. And exhale, bring them down alongside. Last little awareness exercise that we're going to take with our blocks is to extend the shoulders back behind you and notice the contraction of the deltoid muscles along the tops of the shoulders, the backs of the shoulders to support this load. And exhale, release it down. Beautiful. You can put your blocks over to the side. We don't need them right now. Take an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins, shoulder blades down the back. Bring those deltoids around and down. And exhale, fold in. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step your feet back to the back edge of the mat. Lengthen the tailbone down. Here, really notice the action of the shoulders to support the body's weight here. And you have options in your chaturanga. You can bring your knees down to the mat and lower down slowly. Here, the most important thing that you're going to do as we move through this chaturanga is to really slow down and notice sensation. So whether your knees are up or down, noticing sensation is our main goal. And exhale, lift your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a long inhale here. And exhale, sigh. Beautiful. Take an inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, bend into your knees. Step one foot and then the other to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step the feet back. Hold plank here for a moment. Breathe into sensation. And choose your adventure for chaturanga. You can shift your shoulders forward. You can lower your knees. You can press back to downward facing dog. However you choose, take your chaturanga with integrity. And hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Step, walk, or hop to the halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back and flow in your way. Downward facing dog. A nice long inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Step, walk, or hop. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Step it back. Flow. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your right heel. And exhale, plant the right foot in between the hands. Ground down the back foot at 90 and open the arms out. Warrior two. We're in this nice abduction of the shoulders here. Right knee over right ankle. And really noticing sensation in the tops, fronts, and back of the deltoids. Take an inhale, straighten into your right thigh and lift your arms up and overhead. And exhale, sink back in. Inhale to straighten. Exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink it in. Inhale to straighten. And exhale, sink. Warrior two. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the right thigh. Leave your arms extended out. Your right fingertips come forward, 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 and then down. Your right hand might find your shin, a block, or maybe the mat. Inhale, lift your left fingertips to the sky. And here, really notice the sensation of the shoulder bones pressing, the humerus coming out of the shoulder joint. Breathing here. Trikonasana. Open through the collarbones, plug shoulders into their sockets. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend into the right knee, come back up, warrior two. And exhale, right forearm, right thigh, left arm sweeps under and overhead, extended side angle. Here in this extended side angle, we're gonna take those breaststroke arms again that we took before when we were in our balancing table. So bring your left arm out to a nice wide T, and then left arm hugs into left ribs. Inhale, lengthen your left arm up into this sort of traditional extended side, and then out to a T, and then elbow to ribs. Again, lengthen, T, elbow to ribs. Lengthen, T, elbow to ribs. Take an inhale, bring it back up to warrior two. Straighten it into the right thigh. Turn all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat. Bring your heels in here, angled in slightly. And we are going to come into goddess pose. So take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend into your knees, cactus your arms, and sink it in. Lengthen tailbone down, hug low ribs in. Elbows are at a right angle. Inhale, lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms. And exhale, sink in, goddess. Inhale, lengthen, press hands away from you. And then sink. Nice. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, sink it in. Breathe here. And press it out. Here, let's turn our heels outward just ever so slightly. Maybe lengthen your stance a little bit. Your hands can come to your hips. And from here, we're gonna lift the hands up on an inhale. Exhale, hands come down behind the back. Perhaps you interlace your hands. Your fingers come interlaced here. If that doesn't work for you, you can clasp opposite elbows. However you like. Find the position for your hands. Take an inhale, lift your heart up to the sky. And exhale, head comes down. Arms either rest on the low back or your clasped hands can press up to the sky. Breathe in slow. And exhale, hands come back to the low back. Slowly and steadily press yourself up to stand. You can pivot around. Your right toes face the front edge of your mat. Come onto the ball mound of your left toes. Lift your arms up. Exhale, frame off the right foot. Step it back and flow. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the left foot in between the hands, ground down the right heel. Warrior two. Arms extend out. From here, take an inhale, straighten into the left knee. Arms reach up overhead. And exhale, sink. Inhale to straighten. Exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink it in. One last time, inhale, straighten. And exhale, sink. Breathe into sensation wherever it might feel loudest in the body. Invite your breath there. Take an inhale, straighten into your left knee. Your left fingertips come forward, forward, and then down. Again, you might like a block underneath your left hand. Right fingertips press up to the sky. And here, really notice the sensation of arm bones pressing out and into their sockets. Inhale, come back up. Turn all 10 toes toward the short edge or the long edge of your mat. You can turn your heels in slightly. From here, we will bend into our knees and cactus the arms. Kalyasana, goddess pose. Inhale, press the palms of the hands out. And exhale, sink it in. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, sink. Inhale, press. Exhale, sink. Lengthen breath, open through the collarbones. Take an inhale here. Press your arms out and away from you. Interlace the hands behind the back. Walk the heels of the feet out, away from one another. And you can clasp opposite elbows if that works better in your shoulders and your body. Take an inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, fold forward.
Prasarita Padottanasana. A little stretch, a little activation in the shoulders. Hands can either lift up toward the ceiling or rest gently on the low back. Whatever feels nicest for you here. Take a long inhale and a gentle exhale. Inhale, back of the heart space guides you back up. Pivot your toes toward the top of the mat. Frame off the foot. Step it back and flow. And back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take an inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the right foot in between the hands. Leave your back heel lifted. Inhale, come up. Crescent lunge. Arms are pressing up to the sky. You can either bring hands together up overhead. You can extend them straight up and out of the shoulders. You can open them into a nice wide V or bring them into that cactus arm shape. Take an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky wherever they are. And now everyone exhale, hands down into goalposts. Cactuses. Inhale up and exhale to cactus. Inhale, reach it up and exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the hips. Take your left foot and step it forward about a foot. Square off your hips toward the short edge of the mat. From here, you can interlace the hands behind the back. You can clasp opposite elbows. You can take reverse prayer pose with the hands. Take an inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, fold forward toward the extended right leg. Beautiful. Right hip bones hug into the socket. Left hip bone comes around and down so that they're more or less square. Take an inhale, back of the heart space guides you back up. Step your left foot back toward the back edge of the mat at about a 60-degree angle or a 90-degree angle. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, fold forward, humble warrior. Allow the crown of the head to hang heavy here. Your hands once again can stretch up toward the sky or can rest on the low back. Inhale here, back of the heart space guide you back up. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, and exhale, frame off the right foot, step it back, and flow in your way. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot in between the hands. Leave your back heel lifted. Inhale, crescent lunge. Reaching up through the fingertips. Take a long inhale. And exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come down to the hips. Step your right foot forward about a foot. Square off the hips towards the top edge of the mat. You can find the place that you would like for your hands. Reverse prayer, opposite elbows. Take an inhale, lift your chest to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Pyramid pose. Inhale here. And stay for the exhale. Inhale, back of the heart space, guide you back up. Release your hands. Step your right toes back toward the back edge of the mat. Ground on the back heel. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, interlace the fingertips behind the back. Lift the chest to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Humble warrior. Allow the crown of the head to hang heavy. Inhale, back of the heart space guides you back up. Arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, frame off the foot and allow yourself to flow here in your way. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now here, setting up for our next little flow, you can use your cork blocks if you want a little more challenge, or you can get the foam blocks and you can use those. Really is just your preference. And you're gonna bring them alongside of your mat. So whichever ones you choose, bring them to the outside of your mat so they're there and ready to go for you when we get to that point. Nice. Come back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot in between the hands, grab your blocks, and come on up, warrior two. Beautiful. And here, We have this added load, this added challenge. So we're not going to stay here and sink in as long as we did before. But take an inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. And exhale, bend and extend. Inhale, up. And exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Straighten into the right knee. Bring your right hand forward and down. Inhale, lift your left hand up to the sky. Trikonasana. And here, really notice the action of pressing the hands away from you in either direction. Take an inhale here, come back up, warrior two. And exhale, right forearm comes to right thigh, left arm sweeps under and overhead, extended side angle. Exhale, arm comes to a T, and then elbow comes in to the ribs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, arm comes to a T, and then elbow into the ribs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, T, arm to ribs. Inhale, extend. Exhale to a T, elbow to ribs. Take an inhale, come back up. Bring all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat. Angle your heels in slightly. Take an inhale, extend your arms out and up. Bend into your knees for goddess pose. Sink it in. And inhale, extend. Exhale, bend, cactus, and extend. Exhale to cactus, and inhale, extend. One last time, exhale, bend to cactus. Hold it here for a moment. Take a look at your arms. Mine are sinking in. And inhale, extend. Bring your heels out. Your blocks can come down to the ground. And you can choose the position you want for your hands. Interlace the hands behind the back. Lift the chest. And forward fold. If you prefer to keep your hands on your hips, that's also an option. Prasarita Paruttanasana. Exhale, your wrists come down to your low back, hands come down to the mat, pivot toward the top of your mat, bring your blocks with you on either side of the mat, setting up for the other side, hands to the mat, step it back and flow. Downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, plant the foot, ground down your back heel, grab your blocks, come on up, warrior two. Inhale to straighten. Exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink it in. Inhale, straighten the left knee. Bring your left fingertips forward and down. Right hand stretches up toward the sky. Trikonasana. Arm bones pressing away from their sockets. Beautiful. Inhale, bend into the left knee. Come back up. Exhale, your left forearm, left thigh. Right arm sweeps under and overhead, extended side angle. Right hand out to a nice T, opening through the collarbones. And then exhale, your elbow to your right ribs. Inhale, extend the arm up and overhead. Exhale, nice wide T. Right elbow, right ribs. Inhale, extend. Exhale to T. And elbow to ribs. Inhale, extend long. And exhale, come all the way back up. Your heels walk in just a little bit. Coming to goddess pose. Once again, last time. Take an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, cactus the arms, hold on to the blocks. Lengthen tailbone down. Soften the low ribs. Inhale, straighten the arms. And exhale, cactus. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, cactus. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, straighten. Last time, exhale, cactus the arms. Tailbone is lengthening down. And exhale, straighten. Hands can come down, blocks can come down. And then lift your shoulders back up. We're either going to interlace our hands behind our back or take opposite elbows. Inhale, lift your chest to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana, toes ankle in here. And inhale, back of the heart space guides you back up. Pivot all 10 toes toward the top of the mat. And step it back, flow through your plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Take a nice long inhale in down dog, and an exhale. Inhale, float your shoulders forward and over your wrists. Tailbone lengthens down toward your heels. Plank pose, here we are again. Dome up through the shoulder blades, lift the back of the head. Tailbone lengthening down. Really feel the action of those delts. They are tired, but they are still working for you. If you like, you can lower down onto your forearms. Change it up for just a moment. Forearm plank. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down to the mat. Make a nice little pillow with your arms, with your hands. From here, you have options. You can bring your arms down alongside your hips. You can extend arms long out in front of you, Superman style, or you can lift opposite arm and opposite leg and create a sort of swimming action in your locust pose. So whatever you choose, on your inhale, lift your feet, lift your chest, lift your arms off of the mat, and find your placement swimming, just a still Superman pose, or arms extended back toward the hips. Take a long inhale. Be where you are. And exhale, lower. You're going to take that one more time. So you can take the same option or switch it up. Find the placement for your arms. Press your pubic bone in to the mat. And on an inhale, lift up and find your place. Breathe. Take an inhale. Can you lift any more? And exhale, lower down. Press yourself back, hips over your heels.
to child's pose. Settle into your child's pose. Mine might look a little bit different from yours because I'm not trying to crush the mic and breathe too heavily into the mic. You might like to take your knees nice and wide on the mat and press your shoulders out and away from you, extending the hands up toward the top edge of the mat. Or you might like to keep your knees hugging in toward one another. We got one more energetic shape to do here together. And then from there, it's all unwinding. So press your hips back over your heels. You can grab your blocks, either the cork ones or the foam ones, whatever you like. Tent your knees up toward the sky. Bring your blocks alongside. And you're just going to start to lean back a little bit until you find a balancing point where you can create this boat pose. From here, we're going to lift our blocks up toward our feet, extending arms out overhead. From here, we might take them out wide, extend them up to the sky, out ahead, wide, up to the sky, toward the feet, wide, up to the sky, toward the feet, wide T, up to the sky, I'm shaking, and exhale, bring it down. Lovely. That's enough of that. All right. Bring your right heel around and toward your left hip. And if that feels okay, you might try out your left knee sitting on top of the right knee. If that is not comfortable in the knee or the hip, you can extend your right foot long and just stack knees in this way. You can also sit up onto a block. However feels best in your body. And then you're going to take your left arm and hook it underneath your right arm, and then bring palms of the hands together or close to one another. Take an inhale, press your elbows up toward the sky. And then exhale, you might like to fold forward any amount, feeling that stretch into the deltoid muscles that we have just worked. Inhale, come back up. Release the arms and switch out the cross of the legs. However you like to do that. Left knee on the bottom, right knee on the top. Right arm comes underneath the left arm. Hook the elbows, palms of the hands come in toward one another. Inhale, press your elbows up toward the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Beautiful. Notice the sensation all across the backs of the shoulder blades. Allow the back of the head to hang heavy. And when you're ready, you can press your arms back up and unwind that there. Hug your right knee in. So you lift your right knee up toward your chest. You can hug that knee in toward the chest by hooking the elbow around, or you might like to take the elbow on the top of the thigh. But either way, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand behind the back, just lightly touching the ground behind us. Take an inhale, extend up through the spine so the crown of the head lifts. Use the muscles in your core to rotate around, toward your right. Inhale, lift your left arm. Feel the stretch all along the left side of the ribs, from your left armpit to your left hip. Twist in and around to your right a little bit more, and then find the placement for your left elbow. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Beautiful. Release the hands, unwind here. Bring your right foot heel back towards your left hip. Your left knee is tenting up to the sky. First things first, we're gonna lift up through the crown of the head. Our left hand comes behind the back. Lift even more. And now we're gonna find a lift of our right hand and a stretch in between the right armpit and right hip. Twist using the strength of the core around into your left, and then find the placement for your elbow. It might be the same as the other side, or it might be different. And that is totally fine. Beautiful. Unwind there. You can take yourself all the way down to the mat and find any final poses that might feel nice for you here. You can bring a block underneath the hips, extend the heels up toward the sky for a waterfall pose. Get some extension of the legs. A little gentle inversion. And slowing down the breath. Exhale. Heels come back down to the mat. Wherever you are, find your spine long down onto the mat. Smooth out the shoulder blades on the back of the mat. Maybe extend the legs long. Or if it feels better to you, you might like to tent the knees up to the sky. Your hands may find rest alongside the body. Or you may find it more comfortable to bring the hands on top of the torso, finding a sense of grounding. Notice the settling of the shoulders down and onto the mat, and the opening of the collarbones as you lie here flat on your back. As you're ready, roll over to either side. And press yourself up to a seat. You can find your hands together at heart center, or one hand over the other on top of the chest. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this nice strengthening yoga sequence for the deltoids. Thank you so much. I'm Allison Howard, and it's a pleasure.